Hello everyone, this is Jack and welcome back to my channel. This is the final 2 days of my trip to the Philippines this year, and we're gonna start off with food. I never get tired of it. We go to Philly J's. We've been here before with my aunt, but this time we ordered a lot of different foods and it was actually quite a lot for 4 of us. This location is in Bonifacio Global City, BGC, and this chain actually owns a lot of different restaurants that you could see on the placemat, all featuring Filipino cuisine. We start out with a calamansi juice, but it is unsweetened, and so that's what we're pouring into our glasses here. We had simple syrup on the side.
Thank you for waiting, sir.
Sorry. Ang only na lang po kulang namin.
Will you complete naman, sir? Yeah. Yes, sir. It's a shrimp paste for the order.
Snapping. Is this place reserved for you?
So the workers actually cleaned this table off, and then after they took off the reserve sign, the cat jumped back on.
Bruh. This time, was it?
No. You stay there, I stay here.
Okay.
Okay.
Last of Us. Cool. Where's Papi Pasquale? Love that. I think this guy is an addition called Sweet Dream in BGC. There's speakers booming. Really colorful dog stuff. I don't get it.
I believe it was a promotion for portable fans because a bunch of well-dressed looking people came in later on dressed in white, and so I think it was like a white summer party to, promo it with influencers. Anyway, Nike has a similar thing to Uniqlo where they have customizations and very colorful designs that you could do for any of the accessories that you buy in the store. All right, and after digesting for like half an hour or so, we had an appointment to make at the spa. We aren't sponsored by this space, but we have been here multiple times because their price and their quality of massage are just really, really unbeatable. They also serve a warm ginger tea that is their signature drink, and they started selling them apparently. This is my before and after. Okay, next up was hitting up the grocery stores once again to grab snacks for us to take back to the US because we're not going to buy foreign goods in the US with all these tariffs and all this import taxes and stuff, so might as well get it from the source.
Wow, they actually have a packaged cookie and egg package section.
These are some snacks that I used to eat when I was a kid, and it really brought back a lot of memories. And also drinks, but I believe this is either from Korea or Japan. Of course, they had a hot bar with just fried stuff like chicken skins. Anyone want some cat security? This sticker got me rolling though. Wow. I spent some time with my grandmother, and then we had a fishball meal along with some ground beef and potatoes for dinner, some dark greens and leftover birthday noodles. I was going to head out the next evening with one of my aunts and her family, and then my parents were going to head out the next day early at dawn, and then my other aunt was going to leave the day after that. These are some of the pigs that we gave as favors that we got to keep for my grandmother's 90th, since she is the year of the pig in the Chinese zodiac. It started raining lately, which kind of gave a melancholy feel to the evening, but the lights were so beautiful, I decided to take some fresh air when we arrived at the condo. All right, last day in Manila. It really goes by fast when you think about it. 2 weeks when you're on vacation just breeze by once it gets started. We visited my mom's friend at Perfect Pint and showed my aunt and uncle the brewery. We tried different food items this time, and the cheesesteak pizza was actually surprisingly pretty good. All right, and finally, one more marketplace grocery store that we have to hit up because the previous one didn't have the snacks that my sister wanted. So you'll see in just a bit. Looks like where we went to in Bohol. And did I get the... And my family really went to town on these marshmallow snackos. I think they bought them all.
Mucho mas. Delicioso.
It was a beautiful day, but my family spent most of it indoors packing because it was time to head back soon for all of us. And then we walked home.
Hi, kitty cat. Why do you have a collar?
To my grandparents' house to eat dinner together, and it was so sunny, full of cats on the way to grandma's house. This evening we had a repeat of lumpia because homemade is just best and no one else is going to make it like this when we get back. And then the ground beef with potatoes. Oh, I guess that was this evening, not the previous evening. And then some greens along with a lot of watermelon. We also had a vegan option for the protein. And then it was already time to head to the airport. We were going to be there 3 hours ahead of time. I didn't have anything to check in, so I got in under 30 minutes, but I waited with my aunt and her family because there was nothing else for me to do anyway.
That's what I was thinking.
But it's in the dark.
I know.
What the hell?
There's like one little flashlight.
And that wait was around 2 hours, and there were 2 security checks, so don't fill your water up after the first check because you're gonna have to dump it out, and then the second check you'll have another chance to fill up your water at the gates. This charging station had enough outlets for everybody. It was a little slower, but you know what, I still got to juice up a little bit before heading onto the plane. My flight was surprisingly on time, but there were a bunch of things that went wrong during this flight. When I say a bunch, I just mean 2. And there were pros and cons to each of the things that I did on the plane, and I'll tell you what they are as we go through it. Pros, there was nobody beside me, so I got extra space to sleep. Pros, the flight was a little shorter on the way back to Los Angeles. Pros, dinner was served and delicious. It was Filipino food. We even got a packet of dried mangoes, which was delicious because mangoes are the best here in the Philippines. Cons, it was turbulent a lot of the time, so we had the seatbelt sign on a lot of the time. Pros, this is the biggest bathroom in an airplane that I think I've ever been to while being in economy plus. All right, and the big con. Okay, so this kind of ruined the entire flight because even though I was able to sleep for about 7 hours, which is about half of the flight, my entertainment center didn't work. Not only that, the one next to me, the free seat, also didn't work. So I never do this, but for this occasion, I dinged the flight attendant button, and a flight attendant came to me and said, "What's the problem?" And I told her, "Hey, can you please reset my seat so that maybe I could watch a movie or something?" And she was like, "Okay, well, I'm helping this guy who can't move his legs right now, and I need to get a wheelchair, and I can help you you after that. I was like, okay, no problem. And 45 minutes go by. I don't hear anything. I don't see anybody. And so I ding again because I'm just like, maybe she forgot, or maybe I could get somebody else to help me, because resetting it is just like pressing a button and letting the passenger know that, hey, we've reset it. And she comes by annoyed and she's like, we're not done helping this gentleman, so we need you to be more patient as we handle the situation. And I was like, okay, sorry, I didn't know. Nobody said anything to me and nobody's around. So I was like, okay, no problem. And then she apparently resets it an hour and a half later and doesn't tell me. I just know because I'm able to turn on the TV again upon checking, and then I just see the reels of what movies they have in store, but I can't press anything, so it doesn't matter. And then she comes to me later before they serve breakfast and is like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that we reset it. I was like, yeah, it still doesn't work. So she was like, why don't you give me your information, name, seat number, and I'll tell my supervisor. So I did that, but I didn't have a pen and she didn't have a pen. I was like, how do you guys not have a pen and paper? So she's like, maybe you could ask another person. So I asked the passenger beside me. They had a pencil because they do Sudoku. I was able to find some sort of crumpled paper in my backpack. I wrote it down and she was like, can you write it again? It's really not legible and you made a mistake once. And I was like, I crossed it out with a single line. I'm pretty sure it's legible. So I wrote it again. I tried to look at her badge name because every flight attendant has their name tag on, but she actually hid hers in her pocket. And I don't know if that was deliberate, but the way she was acting, I'm pretty sure it was. So good news is I was able to make a complaint formally through the phone and through their website on filipinoairlines.com. And they actually gifted me a gift card that I could use on a future ticket purchase. And there's no expiration date either. So that's the pros of having gone through all of this with somebody with such a poor attitude. It's so surprising to me because Filipinos are supposed to be the best in hospitality. Don't know what happened with that one. Really disappointing, but you know what? I won in the end. This is footage from my dad's drone at Apo Island. So thanks to him for allowing me to use beautiful scenery while I told this crazy story. But the drama doesn't end there. So getting home was 3 hours. I asked my partner to pick me up because I thought it was going to be easier than trying to get a flyaway on the way back, but it didn't really matter because apparently there was a huge game for the Dodgers, which is baseball, that was happening, and everybody was either leaving because the game had ended, so they were flying out, and everybody was heading home, so there was a lot of traffic on the freeway. It wouldn't have mattered if he picked me up or if I took the flyaway at that point. Then we didn't have any dinner, so I decided, why not get in and out by our place? Everybody who had just come home from the game was also at the In-N-Out, and it took us over 30 minutes to get our food as takeout. By the time we got home, we just ate, I went to bed, and he cooked me a really nice steak dinner the next day, and we were able to decompress again, but it was such an ordeal. Anyway, that is all I have for you today. If you enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up, share so that other people can learn more about the Philippines. Subscribe and click the notification bell so that you know when I have new content out. I'm going to be posting a couple more foodie adventures before I head out to Brazil, so stay tuned for that recap. I post every Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and until next time, keep curious, everyone. Jack out.
Yum. Nom nom nom.
Damn, picked it clean. Look at that. It looks like a penis. A really skinny one. Ah.